Hey kiddos, ready to switch gears one more time? So now we're going to be talking about children of the world. And we know that last time you started learning a brand new lesson on Japan. Very good. And who remembers, think about it in your head, which continent is Japan located in? Asia, that's right, which is right here. And looking at the map right here, we see this green part is Japan. This is Japan, a lot smaller than China that we learned before. So let's go over our continents again. How many continents do we have in the world, K5? 7. And what are they? North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. And how many oceans? 5. Very good. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean, and Southern Ocean. Very, very good. So now let's see what Miyako has to teach us about her country. I know you already learned a lot last time, but today we're going to learn some more. So today Miyako is actually going to take us to her house. You want to see this part. She's going to take us to her house, and we're going to have lunch with her. So first of all, we got to remember that before we go in, we need to take our shoes off at the door, and she'll give us some slippers to wear inside the house because it's their custom to not wear any shoes inside the house. Some of us have that custom here in the United States. How many of you take your shoes off to walk in the house? Raise your hand. I do too, but some people don't, and that's okay. But in Japan, it's custom that everybody takes their shoes off and they do not wear their shoes inside the house. So, we're also going to see that in Japan, people do not sit on high chairs around the tall table, but they sit on cushions around the short table that has small legs, that has short legs, just like we see in the picture down here. So that's what we're going to do too. And then we're going to eat. And we're going to eat something that's very common in Japan, and that is sushi. Raise your hand if you like to eat sushi. I actually don't, so I'm going to keep my hands down. I don't like sushi, but Mrs. Belluccio loves sushi. And that's a very common meal to eat in Japan, and they love to drink green tea. What do they like to eat? Sushi. What do they like to drink? Green tea. Very good. And sushi is made of rice, fish, and vegetables. Now, another important thing to talk about is in Japan, when people are drinking soup, it's actually good manners to slurp it loudly. Is that good manners here? No. So if you ever go to Japan and you hear somebody slurping their soup very loudly, they're not being rude. It's actually how they show that they enjoy it, that the soup tastes good. Here, when something tastes good, we usually just go, that's yummy, that's delicious. But in Japan, in order to show that it's good, they slurp their soup nice and loudly. So that's how they show their hostess that they're enjoying the food. Now, talking about the way they dress, a lot of people dress just the way we do, but some of them dress up in kimonos, and that's what they wear for special days. But most of the time, they just wear regular clothes just like we do. Now, some Japanese live in apartments and homes that are like ours, but many live in homes like Miyako's, which has some things that are different. We already talked about the cushions and the tables with short legs. And another difference is that the walls, their inside walls, are made of paper. Yes, they're made of paper. And these walls that they have, they can slide open or slide closed. They slide it to open and make it bigger, and they can also slide it back to make it smaller. Another difference is that they do not sleep in beds like we do. They sleep in these things called futons, and we have those around here in the United States too, but we usually don't use them to sleep. We sleep in our beds. But there they use it to sleep. And a futon is just like a warm padded comforter. Japanese homes also have beautiful gardens, and many have fountains and koi fish in their garden ponds. And we can see a picture of a beautiful garden here and a pond with koi fish. And sometimes when you go to Japanese restaurants here in the United States, we can see some of them also have this type of fish called koi fish. Japanese children are taught to be very polite to their teachers at school. And we learned that here too. We have been practicing and learning how to be polite since the very first day of school. And in Japan, they do that as well. But the difference is that usually in Japan, Miyako, she bows to her teacher in the morning, and she also bows to her teacher before she leaves in the afternoon. And she has a lot of homework to do, and just like we do in K5, she works very hard, and she practices writing perfectly, beautifully, just like we do here. Mrs. Velucci and I are always telling you to write inside the lines. We don't go above the line, we don't go below the line. Our circles are round, our sticks are straight, our letters are together, our words are apart, and we do that in order for our writing, our words to be beautiful, and Miyako does that too. Maybe she's trying to get her papers in the good work board just like we do here in K5. Now, Miyako also tells us that the boys in Japan, they love playing baseball, just like we do here in the United States too, and the girls love softball. Children also enjoy swimming and volleyball, so those are the favorite sports in Japan. Now that we talked about it, let's review some of this information. So, we said how Miyako's home is different from ours. How is her house different from ours? Think about it and tell me one way that's different. The walls, good. They don't have walls like we do here, but the walls in homes like Miyako's home, they're made of paper and they can slide open to make it bigger, or they can slide closed to make it smaller. Another difference is the tables. They don't have tall tables with long legs. They have little tables with short legs, and they sit on cushions around it instead of sitting in chairs like we do here. Another difference is that they sleep in futons. Very good. Most of them sleep in futons, not in beds like we do here in the States. So we also talked about something that they usually have for lunch. What is that called? Sushi. Good job. And they like to drink green tea. Awesome. And lastly, tell me, what are the favorite sports in Japan, K5? Baseball, softball, swimming, and volleyball. Awesome job. That's all about Japan.